I am home. I'm here. I'm home. I'm excited to be home for just a couple of days. It's just been a summer where I've just have not been home. Okay, so I am home for a few days in between teaching and then a quilt retreat. Oh no, pity me. My whole life's about quilting. Uh, see, I'm turning on the chat so you can say hi. Let me know that you're here. Let's see, some things that I have going on that are new. Last weekend, I was teaching at Bits and Pieces in New Hampshire. Great quilt shop. If you're looking for live sales and some really good novelty fabrics and just really nice people, they're bnpquilts.com. I just put that in the chat. So you can leave me a comment in the chat too. I taught stationary quilting, which is push-through quilting on a push-through long arm, as well as home machine quilting. I taught basic long arm machine quilting. And then I taught introduction to computerized quilting. Let's see, Susan, hi, it's good to see you. I'm glad you're here. And Patty, oh man, you have a doctor appointment. That's okay. This will be recorded. You can come back and see us later. I do have a list, though, of things to talk about. So let's see what I have going on. Since I was at Bits and Pieces at a quilt shop, I shopped. Oh no, oh no. So last week I talked about making English paper, Last week I mentioned that I had visited my nephew and he had stained glass in his house, in his new house, in his new old house. So I wanted to make little placemats to match the stained glass because they said they wanted placemats, but they didn't know what they wanted. So while I was at Bits and Pieces, I got honeycombs because one of the windows has a honeycomb shape in it. And then I also got this Tree of Life. This is stained glass fabric. And I thought that regardless of the quilt that I made, I would use this as the binding and as the backing, of the placemat. So I'm waiting for my English paper piecing 1-inch hexagons to come. And the first thing that I will make them will be to match their white hexagon tile floor. So what I'm going to do is just take all of my whites and creams and piece them together, English paper piecing, good for a trip, to make them 2 placemats. And I will quilt it in these colors so that they're not just plain white boring. Yeah, I know the first placemats I give you are ones you can spill on that will stain, but I'll quilt it like in yellow and orange and blue and green. So I'm looking forward to that. And when those are done, then I will use these or Dresden's or whatever comes in the next one that I want to make. And when I got home, I got this in the mail. This is the same type of yarn that I'm making a scarf out of, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. And this is daffodil something? Daffodil Dolali, whatever that is. So it's kind of a greeny yellow out to a yellow. One of these is enough for a shawl, a tank top, things like that. So I got this one because it was $12. Yellow is not a color I often wear, but other people do. I thought for $12, it'll be great on my shelf for a while. Yes, I stash knitting as well. Let's see, Annette. Hello in Florida. We are hovering at 72 degrees here in New York. That's without air conditioning, without heat. It's a free weather day. We don't have to pay to control the climate. I'm guessing that's not the case where you are in Kissimmee. And Janet, hi, buckle up. Right? I think my daughter, Hurricane Erin, is headed your way. So buckle up. I know you're not out in the Outer Banks, but you're definitely got to be getting some good residue from that would be my guess. So stay safe. Sorry that my daughter's doing this to you. So next I told you what I purchased this week, which was not terrible. Let's see, Gina. Hello, Gina. How are you? It's good to see you. Hope you're having some wonderful weather up where you are because I'm cool here and you're further north. What else is new? My works in progress. So I currently have 5 works in progress, but I'm working on 6. So this is one of my works in progress that I haven't touched much since I talked to you. So this is a scarf and made out of a different type of yellow of that same yarn I just showed you. And it also has, it goes to black. It goes yellow to gray to black. Go Steelers. So that didn't get worked on at all. Because, let's see. Oh, Annette, 93 and muggy. Sorry. Yeah, I was guessing that was the case. And Joan, hello. I hope you're having some nice weather in Eastern PA as well. Let me see. I have another sweater that sits here at the kitchen table when I'm working here. Because sometimes, like, I'm on hold if I'm making a phone call or I have to wait for something to download. So I'm working on this cardigan that's going to take forever. But I made about 4 inches of progress on 1.5 million stitches this week while working. So that was pretty good. Cardigan for me. Those are 2 of my works in progress. Another is, let's see, the Aloha Mystery. I didn't put this online yet. Bits and Pieces has the Aloha Mystery. You did have to pay to join it by either buying a kit or a gift card. But let's see, step 1. More step 1. Step 2. So I don't know what it's going to be yet, but I'm having fun. I finished that yesterday. And I'll be photographing that and putting it online. Let's move that over here. I have another quilt along that I'm not technically working on yet, but I will be by the end of the day. So anything I touch now, I have to work until it's done. Can't touch new things. So this is Primitive Gatherings. This is their pumpkin spice or pumpkin gatherings quilt. This is step 1. I think we're on step 6. I'm a little behind because this is where I stopped it whenever I left town right after the 4th of July. But I hope to finish some more pumpkins today and then get on to step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Excuse me. Gina, yes, low 70s here as well. It's pretty delightful. Let's see what else I have in my work in progress. Oh, I have a photo for you. Let me pull that up. Nope. So this is what I'm actively working on. Apparently not. Cancel. Let me pull up something. Download. Let's see. I just downloaded it. I took the pictures and I downloaded them. Is this going to work? Computers. It's so much fun. So let me share this window here. So I just took the quilt out of the machine and threw it on the deck a couple minutes ago to take a photo. So this is my 1010 on the side quilt, which each block is made up of 100 1-inch squares, so making it 10 inches. This hashing is 10 inches as well. I was going to do wiggles all over it, up and down, because the fabric that's in here is a polka dot, but behind the polka dots is actually a stripe. But I felt like doing swirl stencils. And then in between the swirl stencils, I did some little left and right switchbacks. So that's my quilt. That's my quilt. Let me move back here. That's the whole quilt. I'll show you more when it's done, but that's what's actively in my machine right now. That's what I'm doing in between my own little jobs. Gina, love the pumpkins. You can go to lisabonjean.com or Lisa Bone Jean's blog through Primitive Gatherings. Just Google Lisa Bone Jean's blog. Pumpkin Spice or Pumpkin Gatherings or whatever it's called. I got it free, the quilt along free, because I bought a fat quarter tower of the fabric, which I obviously haven't cut into yet. If you haven't bought the fat quarter tower, you can pay $5 a clue. So there you go. And you can quilt along. It's going to be a really nice quilt. I'm pretty excited to make it. Someone's going to absolutely love it. It's yummy. Okay, so I did my 1010. I did my Aloha Mystery. I did my Pittsburgh scarf. Which one's missing? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then I did the next one. I showed you last week I was starting to put it together. This hasn't been pressed yet, but I pieced my Snowball Fight quilt, which is from a Primitive Gathering books. I think it's Snowman Gatherings 4. But this was made with scrap fabric, and it's going to be a great big and tall quilt. So this might be the next one I quilt. Like when I'm finished with that one, I'll press this one up and baste it tonight. Just gives me some good machine quilting. I'm away for this weekend because I'm going to a quilt retreat. But when I get home, I have another round of infusions. So having a quilt basted up that I could just sit for a very long time and do the same thing, maybe I'll baste this up and save it for then. So those are my works in progress. Is anybody trying to limit their works in progress so they can actually finish it? That's what I am. I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to have my works in progress only fit on an index card. This index card is going to get more full, though, because I'm going on a quilt retreat this weekend, which means I'm going to start a bunch of new things because a quilt's not finished until it's quilted, and I'm not going to be quilting there. I'm going to be piecing there, so I'm making more unfinished things. So that's what all the extra space on the card is for. Joan, why am I limiting my quilts in progress? I just want to finish stuff. I just want to walk in my sewing room and feel some modicum of control instead of going, oh my word, what happened in here? I was gone and things went nuts. And they didn't. It's just the way I left it. But yeah. So things that I'm going to make on my quilt retreat. Now, this is a boocation for Halloween. We are sewing with our ghoul friends. I'm not a Halloween person, but I am a pumpkin person. So I may take this with me. I will definitely take this with me, and I'll be making this is called pumpkin spice, I think is the name of this, pumpkin spice. Let's open it up. See the card. Pumpkin Spice Gatherings. So, and it has a panel in the bottom too. I don't know if you can see it there. There's a panel in the bottom, which will be another fun quilt as well. Okay, so I'll be taking that with me to make some cutie quilts. And I was in the fatquartershop.com, and they have things cut at 5. I think this is 5 by 10. Pumpkin Spice Gathering Collections. If you bought this, it's like, I think it's half a layer cake, I think. But they cut them 5 by 10, and this is the same fabric line. And then they gave you a free pattern to make on the back of it. So this was 66 by 74, and I'm all over that. So I'm going to make this while I'm there too. Then while I was at Primitive Gatherings, I bought this brown fabric from the line, and this is going to be my binding for all of the quilts made out of it. If I need extra binding and it's not going to be the background color, this is going to be the binding. So I think that's what I'm taking on the retreat. Not much. All of that, one bolt of background fabric. And then we'll be getting new projects to work on while we're there. So that'll be fun. Next week, I'll have a whole bunch of new things to show you. My card will be more full. Also, next week, now that I'm touching everything, I'm covered in fabric from touching that Jolly Bar. I'm going to be on Wednesday because I have an infusion on Tuesday, and I don't want to talk to you. I just don't. I wasn't even home in time to talk to you last time. So that's what I'm working on at the quilt retreat. Let's see what I'm reading. I finished a David Baldacci series of Will Roby. And then I read another book that's not a series. It's not a mystery. It's not an adventure. None of that. It's a standalone novel. It's called This Tender Land. Someone at Primitive Gatherings recommended it to me, someone at my retreat out there, and I'm listening to it. It was beautiful. I just finished it yesterday, and it was delightful. So I can recommend that. Next, I'm currently reading the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson. Now, it's a fantasy series, and I love a good long fantasy book, and because it's all about world building and politics and all of that stuff. There's just oftentimes there's magic. In this case, there is what do they call it? They do things with metals. They get powers from metal. So it's interesting, and I love Brandon Sanderson. So I'll be in this world for a while. This book is 24 hours and it returns Saturday. So I know how far I need to get every day in it so that I have it finished and it doesn't return back to the library before I'm done. Gina, oh, thanks. The infusion? Yeah. What was funny with the infusion, I had an infusion last Tuesday, and Thursday I drove to Bits and Pieces. And I went and I ordered a dinner. I remember, I had planned to not do anything in the evening to make sure I was well rested. I knew to make sure I was hydrated, things like that. I forgot I get nauseous. So I ordered a dinner from Cracker Barrel, and it was just grilled chicken. I said, okay, it'll be simple. I opened it and the smell of it, I'm like, so we're having the biscuits. I forgot I like to eat bread. Sugar, I can get sugar down. And I like pizza, Italian food. So yeah, it's just the way it is. I go through this 2 weeks apart and then 4 months off, then 2 weeks apart, then 4 months off. And it keeps me in my fabulous self. So not really upset about it, just a way it goes. I don't feel my best for a few days. So I am working at home, unpacking from Primitive Gatherings, unpacking from Bits and Pieces, getting ready to go on my retreat. And then the next trip I have after that, I'm going to be going back to care for my mom while my sister travels. And while I'm in Pittsburgh, I'm going to be teaching hands-on home machine quilting at the Quilting Needle in Glenshaw, Pennsylvania. They actually rented a hall up the street, and it's really nice. I've taught there before when I've been in town. It works out well for us. I can just come and say, hey, I'm already here. So there's no travel, there's no hotel, because I'm already here. So why don't I just come and teach like a local teacher, except I'm now in town. So it works out. I'm going to be teaching walking foot quilting, and I'm going to be teaching stencil quilting, like the quilt that I showed you the picture of from the deck today. So I'm really excited about that. That's the next thing I'm packing for. And then I'm going to be teaching at So Inspired in the beginning of October. So Inspired is in Simsbury, Connecticut, which is north of Hartford. So getting ready to teach for that as well. The last thing I have on my kitchen table getting ready to show you is I came home. Now, my husband, me liking fantasy novels has nothing to do with my husband. I liked fantasy novels long before I met him. But he is kind of a Dungeons and Dragons, role-playing game, that sort of thing. I came home from my trip, and sitting on the table was a series of dice. So if you've taken a class from me and I talk about using dice to determine what I'm going to do next, I mentioned that my husband is, the dungeon master, the Dungeons and Dragons. And the thing is, you make decisions based on rolling a die, and they all have different numbers. Yes, could we use a random number generator on our phone? Sure. But the dice is the old school way to do it, and it hasn't gone away yet. I think this is a 60-sided die here. I think this one is. But I totally geeked out. My husband thinks he bought them for himself, but this 100-sided die is mine. So you can just roll it, and then whatever's on the top is your number. So I just rolled an 82. So this has 3 sides. There's a 3-sided die in here. There's a bunch of other stuff. Anyway, I stole them. I asked him once for a 12-sided die, and he said, what color do you want? So I would have married him all over again at that moment. You give me my choice of 12-sided die. Pitter pat, pitter pat. So if you're not into any of this, use a random number generator, but this is now mine. He has to buy another one because I'm keeping it forever and ever. Silliness. Anyway, I am going to go back and put my book in my ears, listen to some more as they're bringing down the final empire or the last empire, and see what goes on with that. and finish quilting. So I will be putting up pictures of my Aloha Mystery 5.0. You can check that out at Bits and Pieces, bnpquilts.com. Let's see, Margaret McDonald's. Hi, how are you? Oh, I see a kangaroo. Is that wishful thinking or is that where you are? And if that's where you are, what time is it where you are? Because you're really far away. It's got to be like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, if you are in Australia. So anyway, I'm going to say goodbye for now. I'm going to get back to get quilting. So be sure to sign up for my newsletter. I have one of those coming out. I'll probably get it out tomorrow with some new content in it, a new quilt for As the Bobbin Turns, and some things on sale, things like that. So go to debbiebrownquilts.com and sign up for my newsletter. Otherwise, follow me on all social media and you'll get to see what's coming up. I'm also planning some online classes with a couple different shops. Margaret, 4:22 a.m. Are you in Adelaide? Because Adelaide's the only place I've ever been with a half hour time zone. Let's see. Cindy, have a great weekend. Find out my retreat. You're going to spend the afternoon on Friday with Cindy at Calico. Excellent. I'll be on a quilt retreat in Connecticut, but we'll see if I'm going to make it to Syracuse at some time. So until I talk to you again, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I will see you again next week on Wednesday at 2:30 in the afternoon, New York time. So happy quilting.